Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the program, Listening to God Daily through His Word, where I take a portion of Scripture, read it out loud, and make applications. Today's portion is a little longer than normal. Exodus 13, verses 1 through 16. We're going to read that and go over a few points. This is information that's been given before, but it's important. Anytime you see information two, three, or four times in the Bible, the same thing, it's important to know and pay attention to it. So we're going to do that today. This is a short program, 5 to 7 minutes, to supplement your daily Bible reading. So let's go ahead and get started. Exodus chapter 13, verse 1. And the Lord spoke unto Moses, saying, Sanctify unto me all the firstborn, whatsoever openeth the womb among the children of Israel, both of man and of beast. It is mine. And Moses said unto the people, Remember this day in which you came out from Egypt, out of the house of bondage. For by the strength of hand the Lord brought you out from this place. There shall no leavened bread be eaten. This day came ye out in the month Abib. And it shall be when the Lord shall bring thee into the land of the Canaanites, and of the Hittites, and the Amorites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, which he swore unto thy fathers to give thee, a land flowing with milk and honey, that thou shalt keep this service in this month. 7 days thou shalt eat unleavened bread, and in the seventh day shall be a feast to the Lord. Unleavened bread shall be eaten 7 days, and there shall no leavened bread be seen with thee, neither shall thou be leaven seen with thee in all thy quarters. And thou shalt show thy son in that day, saying, This is done because of that which the Lord did unto me, when I came forth out of Egypt. And it shall be for a sign unto thee upon thine head, and for a memorial between thine eyes, that the Lord's law may be in thy mouth. For with a strong hand hath the Lord brought thee out of Egypt, that thou shalt therefore keep this ordinance in its seasons from year to year. And it shall be, when the Lord shall bring thee into the land of Canaanites, as he swore unto thee and to thy fathers, thou shalt give it, and shall give it thee, that thou shalt set apart unto the Lord all that openeth the matrix, and every firstling that cometh of a beast which thou hast, and male, shall be the Lord. And every firstling of an ass thou shalt redeem with a lamb. And if thou wilt not redeem it, then thou shalt break its neck. And all the firstborn of man among thy children thou redeem. And it shall be, when thy son asketh thee in time to come, saying, What is this? That thou shalt say unto him, By the strength of hand the Lord brought us out from Egypt, from the house of bondage. And it came to pass, when Pharaoh would hardly let us go, that the Lord slew all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both the firstborn of man and the firstborn of beast. Therefore I sacrifice to the Lord all that openeth the matrix, being males, but all the firstborn of my children I redeem. And it shall be for a token upon thy hand, and for frontlets between thine eyes. For by strength of hand the Lord brought us forth out of Egypt. So what's going on here? What's happening here is God is giving instructions to Moses and Moses to the people how to keep the Passover remembrance. Every year they're going to have a remembrance. It's going to start as a 7 day process. The first day is holy. They don't do any work. They don't have any leaven in their house. They don't eat leaven. They don't use leaven. They keep the memorial of the Passover. In verse 3, he tells them it's by God's strength that he brought them out, and it came out in the month of Abib. And so when he gets to the land that God is going to give them, then they're going to keep this every year in that month. 7 days they're going to keep it. No unleavened bread. No leavened bread will be there. And you're going to talk to your children about what this is all about. This remembrance, this ordinance was so that people would never forget that God had brought them out of slavery from Egypt. Hard to believe that they can forget, but they could. 9/11, when that happened, there are people now who have forgotten about 9/11. I haven't. There are people now that have forgotten about JFK's assassination. I haven't. I was 6 at the time. I can still remember. There are people now who have forgotten about Neil Armstrong walking on the moon. But none of those things are as important what happened to the children of Israel. Because of God's mighty hand, the Israelites were freed from slavery. Not just freed from slavery, but enriched before they left. God prepared them for their journey to the promised land. So this will be a sign of verse 9. It says, Unto thee, unto thine hand, and for memorial between thy eyes, that the Lord's law may be in thy mouth. He wants them to remember everything. You can keep this ordinance from year to year. Verse 10. And when you finally get into the land, you're going to set apart everything that opens the womb, everything that opens the matrix. That's given to God. It's to be sacrificed. If it's a ass, then you're going to redeem it with a with a lamb. If you don't redeem it, the firstborn of an ass, then you're going to kill it. Everything needs to be redeemed. Now you're not going to kill men when your people have babies. The firstborn will not be sacrificed, but it will be redeemed with a lamb. So even the firstborn of the families has to be redeemed because that's so that you will never forget the Passover. Verse 15, that the Lord slew all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both the firstborn of man and the firstborn of beast. Therefore I sacrificed to the Lord all that opened the womb. Matrix, it says here, being male, but all the firstborn of my children I redeemed. So that's something they're going to have to keep throughout the ages so that people remember how mighty God is. We have a tendency to forget. We have a tendency to think we're the mighty ones. We're the one doing everything. God certainly gives us abilities and he expects us to use them, but the results are the Lord's. So we need to let him work, get out of the way. Don't forget God's blessing. If you remember the day you were saved, be grateful you remember. I remember the day I was saved. It's a memorial every year. I don't think about it, but I think about it when I do. I remember that time. God saved me. What a blessing when I was 16 years old. So God will save you if you haven't been saved. Trust him today. If you have, remember the goodness of God throughout the years. The Israelites to remember the Passover and how much God has done for them. All right, guys, I hope this is a help and a blessing. And until next time, keep listening to God. Thanks for watching.